All right, Texas A&M, Notre Dame. What a game. This was an instant classic that we'll be talking about for a while. I think it's quite peculiar that for the second time in less than a week, we had a game finish with the score of 41-40. That's what that Bills-Ravens game finished with last week as well. I was out for this game. I was at an establishment called Bar W in Dallas watching this game out with some of my friends. And this was a bar that was heavily populated with Texas A&M Aggie faithful. And let me tell you something. The vibes just felt immaculate in that place. It just felt different. And I know that a lot of the college football population is fatigued of hearing that when it comes to Texas A&M. But the energy was palpable in that place, and it just feels different with A&M fans. Just talking to someone last night, the optimism is just different. And after watching that game play out, I can understand why. In South Bend, the noise was off the charts. Notre Dame's fans brought it. But the A&M Aggie faithful, they traveled well up there as well. And all second down, third down, fourth down, you heard those Aggie fans yelling. They brought the noise factor. Like there are times where, on a micro level, you felt like you're in College Station. It was interesting. It was A&M's night. But let's break this game down here. There was a lot of offense in this game. And when you see a score like 41-40, it's either one of two things. There was zero defense played at all, like one of those vintage Big 12 games back in the mid-2010s. No, that was not the case here. Both of these offenses are so littered with talent and so productive, so high octane that they just kept scoring and scoring and scoring. A&M was down by 10 points at one point in the second half, or the second quarter, forgive me. That didn't matter because their offense, it's just that good. They're going down scoring. It felt like every time last night. They felt automatic. That offense just gels. It's not perfect, but it just gels. Let's talk about A&M for a second here because I really want to put the spotlight on them. I'm going to say this, and I want you all to really absorb this. This is a game that Texas A&M would not win under Jimbo Fisher. This is a game Texas A&M would not win under Kevin Sumlin. This was a Mike Elko Texas A&M win through and through. And that's why I say that this team just feels different. I know they're wearing that maroon and white. I know there's certain perceptions and opinions that comes with that. But it just feels different. First drive of the game, blocked punt. Notre Dame touchdown. In the past, you'd see that with an A&M team and think, oh, battered Aggie syndrome. Here we go again. Same old Aggies. Down by 10 points in the second quarter. We're on the road. We know what's going to happen here. When's Notre Dame just going to blow the doors open? No. They created opportunity. And they capitalized on opportunity. Of course, that C.J. Carr interception, which led to a converted A&M touchdown. They were capitalizing on opportunities. That was huge for the Aggies last night. And then, of course, in a spot like a 2-minute or really 1-minute drill last night, A&M drives on the field on Notre Dame, down 40-34. In the past, we know historically, those of us that have been watching A&M for a long time, this is a point where they would throw the game away. There would be those coulda, woulda, shouldas. Man, if we could have just punched it in against Notre Dame, we'd be having a totally different conversation right now. Well, we are having a totally different conversation this morning because Marcel Reed connected with Nate Borkacher. I hope I said that correctly. Don't crucify me if I didn't. For the Aggies' game-winning touchdown. That's a different A&M. Capitalizing at a big moment. I said in my prediction for this game that Mike Elko and these Aggies, they needed that signature win to make that stamp, turn people's heads, and even up the ante when it comes to recruiting, to continue to get recruits from Texas and beyond. Well, they did that. They caught the nation's attention with this win. When you look at Marcel Reed, his night was interesting. He had more incompletions than completions, but he had 360 passing yards, and it was just his cadence in the fourth quarter. Like, I haven't seen that out of A&M quarterbacks really at all in the past 10 years, that to have that kind of trust of, oh, he's going to pull this through. There was no panic. He wasn't frantic at all. He seemed composed. He seemed dialed in. He seemed trusting of his teammates. His combination rushing with Le'Veon Moss was unreal. They had 118 combined rushing yards last night. Le'Veon Moss had 3 touchdowns. So another thing that we were breaking down in the preview, the speed of this A&M offense is different. And, of course, Mario Craver. That touchdown he had, the spin move, was like something out of a video game. 207 receiving yards from Mario Craver. Casey Concepcion had 82. This is another testament to the Aggies here when it comes to building a team, which is something that we get more and more intel and sample size on every year in this NIL transfer portal era. Now, there's some teams that use the transfer portal completely to build their roster from the bottom up. A&M didn't have to do that, but they knew that they wanted their receiving core to look a little bit different. So they went and got Mario Craver from Mississippi State. They went and got Casey Concepcion from NC State. And those guys have completely transformed this offense. I thought about this when I was reflecting before making this video. There may not be a team in college football who has more weapons on offense than the Texas A&M Aggies. It's scary. It's scary how good this offense is. Defensively, it's hard to evaluate because I really like Notre Dame's offense. But A&M used the transfer portal for the right things. And it's really paying off for them. They didn't go all in, but they used it to enhance certain components of their roster that needed help. So this is a game in the past that A&M doesn't win. They pull off last night. Bar W just exploded last night. The war chant was going crazy. The war hymn, it was incredible. And so congratulations to the Aggies on a huge win. I want to talk about Notre Dame for a second here. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's deflating starting a season off 0-2 when you're just in the national championship. And now you have to give it context with the fact that Notre Dame started the season off with 2 ranked teams, 2 teams that could very well be in the college football playoff in Miami and in Texas A&M. But nonetheless, this game was at home. I expected Notre Dame to rebound here. And they had a lot of opportunities to blow this game open. Like I said, they're up by 10 at one point in the second quarter. But they failed to do it. They let A&M back in. And they had a chance to finish this game out in the fourth quarter. But once again, let A&M get back in. I thought Notre Dame did a good job with opening up the passages for C.J. Carr last night. I mean, I loved some of the trickery that was going on. He went 20 for 32, 293 passing yards. I thought he had a good night, but it was a crucial mistake in the second quarter, just like he had against Miami, that gave A&M that momentum, just like Miami was given that momentum. And it carried over. I said Jeremiah Love needed to have a hell of a night. He had 94 rushing yards. I think he had a pretty decent night. Eli Raridan, 85 receiving yards. Malachi Fields at 77. So it was a good, productive night for Notre Dame's offense. And like I said in the Bills-Ravens video last week, when you put up 40 points, you're expected to win. Granted, so early in the season, it's tough to get a gauge on everybody, but I think this A&M offense could be one of the best in the nation. So it's so weird to evaluate and dissect Notre Dame right now because I still feel like they could be a top 10 team, but it's not good luck when you start the season off 0-2. Now, something I want to get into here is the upcoming schedule because that's been the conversation about Notre Dame. And going into it and now afterwards with the evaluation is Notre Dame starts the season off 0-2. They lose to Miami and Texas A&M. How does that impact them when it comes to their chances of making the playoff? Well, it's going to be an interesting conversation out of the CFP, to say the very least. Their upcoming schedule here, they've got Purdue next week. Then they go to Fayetteville to play Arkansas. They got Boise State, NC State, USC at home. Boston College on the road. Navy at home. Pitt on the road, Syracuse at home, Stanford on the road. So when it comes to securing a CFP berth, of course, it's opportunities to showcase that you're that team, playing another ranked team. Notre Dame doesn't play another team that's currently ranked for the rest of the season. Now, USC could end up being a ranked team at some point. There's that possibility. So we could have different evaluations of different teams as the season goes on. But I'm looking at the schedule, and I don't think there's many opportunities for Notre Dame to restore trust as a viable playoff team. Now, if they win by convincing margins every week, do you have to have the conversation? Yes. Does Notre Dame's brands have some impact on this? Absolutely. It does every year. It's Notre Dame. It's Marcus Freeman. The CFP is better with Notre Dame in the playoff than not. But if you're in that conversation, there's multiple 10-2 teams, 11-1, and it's, pick one, put one on the bench. Notre Dame may be that team that's put on the bench. So it's a very interesting paradox that Notre Dame is in right now. And then when you look at A&M here, their schedule is more challenging. But I have confidence in this team. They're hosting Auburn in 2 weeks. That game's will be riveting because I've got a lot of question marks about Auburn. I've seen some good things, but I want to see them get challenged at Kyle Field. I think that'll be fascinating. Of course, they play Oklahoma next week. That'll be a good game. Then they host Mississippi State. They host Florida. So 3 games at Kyle Field for the Aggies. That's a huge advantage. Then they go on the road to Arkansas, LSU, and Como, Missouri consecutively. And then they host South Carolina, Samford, and go on the road to play Texas. I think if you were to match A&M and Texas on the same field right now, my money would be on the Aggies. And Vegas may even tilt in the favor of the Aggies after what we've seen out of Texas recently. But I've got a lot of optimism for this Aggies team. I was very engaged with this game yesterday. I think we're going to be talking about this for years. This was an instant classic. If you're Notre Dame, like I said, there's one of two ways to look at a loss and look at a season. I'm a glass is half full guy always. I like to be optimistic, especially after they're just in the Natty last year. I have a lot of trust in Marcus Freeman and that coaching staff, and it looks bad being 0-2. But you have to give context of who they lost to. But I think they should have won one of those games. That's another conversation. Don't hang your heads too low, Irish fans. I think there's still a chance, but the climb is going to be steep, and in College Station, it's a great day to be a Texas A&M Aggie. So congratulations to Aggie Nation. Let me know what y'all think about this game in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day.